Jasmin. This is Sean. Hello. Hi. This is me. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and assume, just from looking at your animation here, that you're using this guy that I posted, this reference. Because it doesn't say on the assignment, but I'm gonna assume that's what you're using. Because it looks like it's the same. Looking at the page, I didn't actually make it clear that, like, I sort of expect people to do their own reference. You can definitely use. Let's say this. Okay. You can definitely use these references, so I don't mind. So definitely, you're good with using this. But I just wanted to mention that I added this. So hopefully, next people or anybody who reads this will do this, have more information. It's usually best to go film yourself or one of your friends doing an action. Here are some examples of what I'm looking for. You can use these if you like, but I recommend capturing your own reference. So like the next assignment, go get your own reference. And nowadays you just use your iPhone or whatever phone you got. You film yourself or your friend doing the thing. The act of like doing the thing, like a lot about animation is about how it feels when you're doing it, because you're exaggerating reality, and you have to understand reality before you can exaggerate it correctly. So I definitely you might be doing this already. I would recommend like doing this yourself a few times, just to understand like how it feels on your body when you're doing the run. It's pretty important. Just the act of like, oh hey, what's going on? Oh wait, you can't see both screens. You can only see this one. There's so much cool stuff in this reference. Like this guy's like, he's like shaking his hands out ahead of time because he's like, I'm ready to do this, which builds anticipation. The principle of animation. And then he's like moving his feet and shuffling his feet. So much cool stuff going on. And then like he brings his arms back and then forward, and the arms move at a different speed than the hips. And then he leans forward, and then he gets ready, and his legs go back, and then he sits there for a second, and you can tell he's like just settling into place. He's kind of like building confidence over this whole process. That's why it's a really cool reference. All this cool stuff happens anytime you grab reference footage. Like anytime, there's always something cool going on. Doesn't matter what you're filming. It's kind of what I love about animation is there's always something there for you to mess with. So then the guy gets ready. His like ass is down, the asses go up, and he weights his feet, and he sits there, and he probably takes a breath or something, and then he launches, and he's almost like a gun exploding. You can tell this guy's really trying hard to get reference of himself accelerating as quickly as his body is going to let him accelerate. So the challenge with using this reference is like, how do you make that a thing? How do you make that happen and do justice to how much body mechanics and muscles and skeletons and weight and intention and thought process, how do you make that all happen on your rig? So definitely animate before this pose. So I would start, because part of the assignment is like it says somewhere in the instructions, I'm pretty sure I wrote it, where I need like some time before. There's 3 actions. Here. 3 actions. So in this case, it's idle, like a crouched, ready to run pose, like a run anticipation pose, and then there's a run start, and then there's a run. So I need at least, I think you could start on this pose here, where like his ass is kind of, you can even start, I think you can start here. There we go. Where his butt's kind of low. He's pressing into the floor, and then he sits back, he settles. You can even start, if you wanted, you could start your animation right here, right before he lifts up. So he goes down, he lifts up, he pauses, he settles, and then he launches. Like, that's really important to animation, and I need to see that as part of this assignment. So you sort of have the middle stuff worked out pretty well. And then we have to get a little bit more, like one more step in your animation. So I would definitely, just to get you going, you have to do this on your side. Shove this over to 20. Probably animate whatever he's doing in the 20 frames before the launch, and then launch him off. What's cool about what I like to always animate before and after the action I'm trying to focus on, is it makes me think about what is the guy doing before the run start. And like, if this is a video game, I'd call this an anticipation idle, or just I call it an idle. Then I'd call this a run start, and then I'd do a run. So, but I'll probably I think you just need to probably go out to 40. So for the block out, really all you have to do is build one pose on 40. Like, you don't need all these poses in the middle. Whatever this pose is, that's your in pose, and then build a pose. Where both his arms, where hands are back or whatever. Build that pose. So then are we in step mode? Are we? We're not here. Yeah, graph editor. Animation, graph editor. You are in step mode, cool. I found this to be very helpful, where you just do enable step mode. It doesn't actually show on the curve editor that you're in step, but in the viewport you are, which is nice. So you can kind of, he just snaps into that next pose. So for the block out assignment, I'll just give this 5 points already because it's like really close to what I'm looking for. And just go start animating this thing. See how much you can get animated in the next week. Definitely do a pass on these changes, and then submit it on the next assignment as the first pass on your animation. And then I'll just say, yeah, good job, keep going. Or if you have questions, because you were saying you don't know how to do the run part of it, but just do the next step in your reference. Just animate the next step and you've got it. That's all you got to do. You don't have to make it cycle. Just have them run from here to here. So hopefully that answers some of your questions. Probably maybe have created more. I'm not very good about responding to comments on tasks specifically. Definitely send me an email. I'll get back to you quicker. I'll try and get back to you if you post it on the assignment. Especially if you upload a new thing on an assignment, I'll always see it. But if you're just adding a question, like a comment, to an assignment, I've been missing those. I don't get like notifies for that stuff for some reason. But cool. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye.